So in this video, we would learn how we can convert variables from one data type to another. The process of converting one data type to another is known as typecasting. And data types can be converted to other data types, but this does not guarantee that the value of that variable will remain intact. Let us learn how to do typecasting using some examples. Let's start with converting an integer to float. We can do this by simply wrapping the integer around float 64 or float 32. So over here, we have declared an integer I, we declare a floating point number f, and initialize it to contain the value that will be returned after converting I to float. And then we're going to print the variable f. So when we run the program, we get 90.00, which is the converted float value of the integer 90. Converting float to integers. So Go can convert floats to integers, but we end up losing the precision of the float. So we can convert a floating point number to an integer by wrapping the float around int. You can add a floating point number inside of the parenthesis to convert it to an integer. Here, we first declared a floating point number, then we have declared an integer and initialized it with the integer value that will be returned of the f variable. We then print our integer variable. On running this, we get our output as 45. So this conversion has basically truncated all the decimal point of 45.89 and has returned us just the number before the decimal point. Let us learn about the string conversion package. So this package consists of methods that we can use to convert integer to string and vice versa. So the first method is called itoa, and it converts integer to string, and it just returns one value, which is the string formed with a given integer. Let's see how we can use this method. So to convert an integer to string, we would first need to import the string conversion package. Now here, we're going to declare an integer. We're going to create a variable called s, which is of string type, and it's going to be initialized with the value that will be returned by the itoa method of the string conversion package. And then we are simply printing the string. Note how we have passed our integer I to the itoa method. On running the program, we get 42 as our output. The codes around the number 42 signify that the number is no longer an integer, but is a string value. Also, because it's stored in the s variable, which is a string type variable. The next method is a2oi, which converts string to integer, and it returns two values, the corresponding integer and if there's any error. So to convert an integer to string, we would again need to import the string conversion package. Now over here, we're going to declare a string variable. We are then going to store the return values that are returned by the a2i function, and we're going to print those values. So over here, we are printing the value as well as the data type of both the I and the error variable. So over here, when we run the program, we get this output. So since 200 is a pure integer, we did not face any error in converting it to an integer. So we get 200 and int as the value and the data type of the I, while the error and even the data type of the error is nil. Cool. Let's see one more example. So over here, we've declared a string that cannot be converted to an integer, and the a2i function would return us an error for this conversion. So we're going to print the return value and the data type of these values. On running the program, we get 0, int for as the value and the data type of I, while we get the error message and the error data type. So the error data type is a custom data type in the string conversion package. While if you see the error message, it simply says that it's an invalid syntax because we cannot convert 200 ABC to a pure integer. It's time for some hands-on practice.